Greetings on this beautiful day. My name is Alaenura and it's a pleasure to be here today. When I do these podcasts, I often don't know what I'm about to say, and I really try my best to just open up to the presence, that beautiful space that exists in between light and shadow. It's almost like the silence between the notes in music that really give it its magic. So just going to take a few breaths. Just become aware of the inner, the outer, the up, the down, the light, the shadow, the yin, the yang. All these wonderful forces that hold the whole stance between polarity, the edge between these polarities, the Tao, this tension. Sometimes more to the left, sometimes more to the right, sometimes more to the up, sometimes more to the down, sometimes more to the yin, sometimes more to the yang. The push and pull, the ebb and flow. And it is this tension or this dance between polarities that I am becoming more aware of. I'm allowing myself to be intrigued by this tension, this intention. To listen between the words, to observe between or beyond polarities, to tune into the bridge between polarities, the presence, the flow, the now, to ride the crest of the wave without judgment, without fear, to know that in the scheme of life, everything makes perfect sense. When we step out of limiting thoughts or preconceived ideas and beliefs of what we thought was, we open up to the wider perspective, and that's when we realize that everything indeed does make perfect sense and always did make perfect sense. An analogy that has come to me recently is that game that I think came out in the 70s called Kaplunk, whereby you'd have this tower and you'd have all these sticks in there, and the idea was to take out the sticks without having everything fall down to the bottom. And there is something that happens whereby we're trying to break the dam, this point of constriction, this point that is actually holding us, this tension. And then eventually that last, not even necessarily the last one, but that particular strategic stick is pulled out and everything falls down. And when that happens, there's the flow. We let the flow back through and we're able to see beyond limitation. And this is quite a beautiful thing and something that I'm recently experiencing. And I'm coming to embrace this dance between polarity and honour both sides equally, to give both sides my full attention and respect and acknowledgement and reverence in that sense. without attaching myself to one or the other, or without making one less or one more, in equal value. And by doing so, I move into this stream of consciousness, this flow. And I also become aware of where the leaning may be, or where I need to be, whether I need to be more in the shadow or in the yang, and where the energy is trying to resolve itself or compensate itself, or whatever the case may be in these areas. It's something that I am finding myself literally moving beyond the mind. It's a state of being that is beyond the left brain, which is generally logical, rational, trying to separate things just so it can understand things in their isolation. And then, of course, there's the right brain, which is more abstract. It can see wider concepts and it's more creative. And of course there's the third brain, which I understand it to be the area within the brain where the third eye is situated, sort of right in the middle, where you have the thalamus, and you have the pituitary gland, and you have the pineal gland, and these are all part of the intelligence, or the brain that opens us up to universal consciousness. One might even say to the Akasha, to wisdom and mystical esoteric knowledge. And when we start moving more into the Tao, into this dance, into the spiral, or however you are discovering it for yourself, then it is natural that certain things that fall into isolation, or things that fall into separation, eventually start falling away. And for example, any habits that have been holding you in a place of separation or covering up areas that need attending, it could be in the light aspect or the shadow aspect, fall away. Any sort of addiction, alcohol, sugar, cigarettes, anything that pacifies what is needed to come up. And as I said, once that straw comes out, there's free flow. So immediately our life starts changing. And within the change we start, things are installed, we start downloading new programs. What was blocking our directive, our mission directive in terms of our caretaking for ourselves, now rises to the surface again. So we start eating foods that nourish ourselves on a cellular level. The thoughts that we think are much clearer, and we're much more aware of these thoughts that are creative in a positive way. And we also start taking care of the roots, those aspects within us that we have buried in the past, and we start now looking at those with courage, without value, in terms of not putting a value judgment on whether they were good or whether they were bad, and it's this real sense of compassion for ourselves and acceptance for all that is. And as our vibration expands into this vaster, open chalice form, and with this very clear energy of acceptance, we are then able to deal with areas of the human condition that have been on hold for a really long time, and that have been holding us back from healing. For example, we are able to move beyond what the limitations of our acceptance. Like even being a compassionate person, you can be compassionate, but there might be a limit to your compassion. Are you prepared to love the person that may have created the most horrific thing in your life? Rape, abuse, murder. Is this someone that you can compassionately embrace into your heart? There's this story in South Africa where someone came and murdered this mother's children. All her children were murdered. And she went to visit the person and she said, "We have work to do. Now that my children are gone, you are now my child. And I am now your mother." So to be able to raise your vibration beyond what you believed possible to accept and to embrace is where we are now. There really is no separation. It is all about love. It is all about acceptance. It is all about expanding into that oneness, to transmute what we believed was unobtainable, to move beyond what we believed could not be changed or altered. Pain, suffering, bondage, to move beyond those concepts that that's how it is. On some level, we choose to remain in a place of suffering, and we feed that and we stay in the place of victimhood. But we can also make another choice to expand beyond that and to confront that same incident or that same energy face to face in a loving way, and accept the fact and embrace the learnings that has come to you without judgment, without making the other thing wrong. And I know even as I hear these words myself, I feel old cellular memories, feeling, that's not as easily done. But this is our task, and we're doing this really on a daily basis, particularly if we really want to be free within ourselves. We need to forgive and sit with those areas of ourselves that we have deemed unacceptable. Those aspects of ourselves where we have become the predators, where we have become our own enemies, where we have become abused ourselves, put ourselves down, limited ourselves, made ourselves small by elevating those situations outside of us higher than ourselves, undermining, demeaning our divinity and our sovereignty. So now, as we really remember who we are and recognize the expansiveness, the true spark of God, Goddess consciousness that exists within us, expand into that fully, beyond duality, beyond suffering, into supreme loving embrace and acceptance. This is our task. As we choose freedom, as we choose salvation, as we choose to surrender the old and anything and everything that holds us in bondage. This is the time. It is freedom time. It's freedom time. Freedom! Freedom time! It's time to be free. It's time to be free. You and me. It's time to be free. It's freedom time. It's time to be you, all of you. Let go of all the false pretense, all of those behaviors and identities that have been holding us in bondage. And some of those identities may be, I'm a successful person, I got a new car, check out my partner, I really arrived, I really happened in life. But yet, they're all cover stories for holding all those other areas that we've left unattended. So let's truly be stars, shine from the inside out. That's what I say, like a firefly. And illuminate all that we are, so all can be seen, naked, open, and true light bearers. I leave this with you. My name is Alaenura. I give thanks for all that is the light and the shadow, for this beautiful dance, whether it's a tango, whether it's a waltz, or whether it's whatever it is for you. Embrace that dance, that tension, that ebb and flow, the tugging. This is life, this is tantra, this is just energy in motion. See it for what it is. Do not attach any value to it. Just enjoy the dance and the colors and the shades. Namaste. My name is Alaenura. I'm another version of you, you're another version of me. Life experiencing life. God experiencing God's self through you and I. As we open up now into the new paradigm and expand into this vaster consciousness that has always been there, as the unveiling of illusion and this deep sleep, we now rub the sleep from our eyes and expand into awaken into the glory of all creation. It's a wonderful time. I love you, and I shall see you soon. I see you. I see the God in you. My name is Alaenura, and many blessings to you. Namaste.